We went to Myrtle Beach when I was 17 years old. Me and two of my buddies and Joe the Liar. I told a story about him. And we'd planned the trip and we'd paid for the trip. And a little before, Joe decided he wasn't getting enough attention. Telling all those lies, doing everything that he did, just wasn't enough. He decided to buy a motorcycle so people could ask him about his motorcycle. Did Joe grow up driving motorcycles? Did his dad have one? No, I'm pretty sure he did it for the attention. And there's an adage that people that drive motorcycles say, it's not if you wreck, it's when. And sure enough, Joe wrecked his motorcycle right before we were supposed to go on the trip. We went and checked on him, making sure he was all right, which got him even more attention, which is what he wanted. So it worked out for him. And he ended up going on the trip because this was a golf trip. He was going to try to play golf on crutches. And we're getting set up for the trip, and Joe's dad lets us use his old rinky-dink 1983 Trailblazer. But we didn't have much choice. Nobody else's car could make it. My car wasn't big enough. The others, they couldn't make it for varying mechanical reasons. And Joe said, well, y'all need to pay my dad for the oil change, and then there's another mechanical thing that needs to be done. And it was going to be like $300, and we said, no. Well, why would we do that? It's your dad's car. We're driving it. We're paying for gas. I'll pay to have it car washed after going to the beach. So he grumbled about that. And then we going on the trip, and I said, well, I'll get the first tank of gas. I'll put it on my debit card. And Joe says, no. Y'all are going to give me the cash, and I'm going to put it on my credit card. And all of us had just gotten debit cards, which were a wonderful invention, by the way. And we said, no, we didn't bring cash. We're going to put it on our debit cards. But I think Joe was convinced he could go cashless and just have cash from us, but we weren't old enough to do something like that. We were like, no. And another thing he did was his credit card was American Express. So he was talking shit to us about our Visa debit cards. He said, oh, I don't know why you have Visa. Nobody takes Visa. Everybody takes American Express. We'll file that under obvious foreshadowing. We finally get there, which we drove all night. We left at 2 o'clock in the morning and went and played golf right out of the car. It was an awful trip because the Blazer it's seen better days, and it took forever to get there. It's a long drive. We get there and play, and we go to check in, and the people working there are like, hey, wait a minute, how old are you guys? And all three of them were 19. I was just 17. And they said, we thought you were older. They didn't know if they could rent the place for us. And they got them to sign it away. They made sure I didn't come in because I was underage, technically a minor. And a little side note on the trip, we ate Waffle House on the way, and I had some bad gas, and me being the dick that I was, I pretty much farted the whole trip. And I didn't want to room with Joe, but my two buddies quickly linked up, and Joe didn't want to room with me because I'd farted the whole trip. So he decided to sleep on the couch. I was like, okay. So I pushed two twin beds together and made a big bed. It was great. But Joe got mad, and he said, well, I should be able to pull rank. I said, what rank? You have no rank. And get the bed. I said, you can have your bed. But he never did. He slept on the couch. He also didn't shower for the whole trip, best I could tell. And along with that, having to ride with Joe, we had to deal with helping him with his crutches and helping him play. But to his credit, he played pretty decent golf for a guy on one leg. But anyway, we just refused to do anything he wanted to do. He wanted to do something on the beach. He wanted to sit on the car and listen to music and watch people go by. I said, no, that's a stupid idea. And he said, you just don't understand. You're a negative Ned. You don't know anything about attracting women. And I turned to him and said, what woman is going to just say, wow, you guys have a 1983 Trailblazer? I can't wait to have sex with you. That's just awesome. And your staticky music, I'm going to hang out with y'all for the rest of the trip. So that didn't go as planned. And I still say it's a dumb idea. And then one day he wanted to go eat somewhere good, and we picked Wendy's, and he got mad at that. And then here was the funniest part of the trip. We go to the NASCAR park that's up there, where you can drive go-karts. Every beach has them. And this was supposed to be like a serious deal. They had ones that you had to be 16 to drive. And Joe had been excited. He was ready. And he couldn't wait. And a little earlier, Joe finally bought something on the trip. He bought 50 really awful cigars for $50. So he did spend some money on his credit card. But we get in there, and he's ready to pay. He's got his American Express. He's excited. And they say, no, we don't take American Express. Sorry. And he gets so mad, and he goes and sits in the car. We didn't immediately follow him. We just said, hey, y'all want to play putt-putt? We went and played putt-putt while he sat in the car. We kind of got lucky he didn't drive away. And then the next day he wanted to go to the NASCAR park because he somehow had gotten some cash, and we didn't want to go. We wanted to get back because I think one of us had to work. He wasn't happy about that. And I think I had something to do that was a big deal. And he spitefully drove on the way back because he couldn't drive on the way there because he'd hurt his right leg. And he stopped every 10 feet because he needed to pee. And we go to Zaxby's to eat. And he goes in and tries to use this American Express card, and they turn it down too. It wouldn't go through. So he gets mad, gets in the car, and drives off. And we're just like, where did you go? He took our car. And what happened was Zaxby's system messed up. They were going to give him his food for free. But he'd gone to McDonald's and gotten the food. But other than the golf and him being annoying, that was a fun trip. But we spent the whole trip just doing everything he didn't want to do. And it was great.